Hello and welcome back. How are you? You well? I've been excited for this game for a very long time. And what game is that? Well, the game I'm talking about is Farewell North, where you get to play as a border collie in the Scottish Highlands. Need I say more? No. So let's go. This game takes place within the Orkney Islands of Scotland. The game offers Scottish Gaelic subtitles, which just adds to the whole lore of the entire game. We arrive on the scene in a car with our owner. The scene is black and white, perhaps symbolising for something bleak going to happen. The atmosphere is sad, and this is continued as the woman we are with begins to cry, which causes the dog distress. She interacts with him, and there is a moment of colour that flushes through them before returning to the more plain colour palette. We are introduced straight into the game and get to play as this dog, which is amazing. This game is very strong in explorative nature, and we are guided by lights and noise. The tutorial provides a soft, gentle introduction whilst pressing the idea of curiosity and quiet wonder. The music at this point follows suit, playing a soft, gentle track. We get introduced to the concept of swimming, cave exploration, and jumping platforms. And when we meet frozen, highlighted objects, we are able to target the object with a burst of colour, which then fills out the surrounding land. When I first saw this, I was totally blown away. Seeing colour brought back into this little area shows just how beautiful the game actually is. And we are introduced to the title as an introduction. The music swells, and goddamn, I knew this game was going to be good. We discover our name is Chesley, and we are also guided by the calls of our owner, Kaylee. As we move, the colour gradient moves with us, and we see butterflies in motion, the sunlight hits and bounces off objects, and the heather is vibrant. We are also introduced to the concept of thistles, which grow in colour, and act as keys to unlock pathways that aren't passable. The light dims when we return to her, guides us to a canoe. This becomes our method of progressive travelling through the game. This is so peaceful, just travelling around the lochs, which she pronounces correctly, might I add. The game takes us through a paddling intro, guided by light and colour, and she suggests that it's been quite a while since they have been able to do this. On the controller, there is a button to bark, which is used to get her attention, and she talks back to it each time, which is pretty sweet. There's a series of puzzles in the game, which you need to solve in order to progress, and these are typically blocked paths, needed to be opened by the colour of ferns, frozen objects, or change perspective puzzles, or timed events. I think I've found a way out. Nah, it's me doing all the work here, pal. Rest yourself. She mentions her mum. She is in a clear blanket of sadness. However, it's difficult to be feeling the effects of her sadness too much, as we are currently doing this. This idea is then later confirmed as we enter an open area. Kaylee is now carrying an urn of ashes, and time becomes frozen around us, and she becomes trapped within a circle of ivy and giant figures of herself. That's bloody terrifying. This symbolises that she is struggling with big, overwhelming and negative emotions. She's emotional, and with these dark contrasts, with white colour tones, it is suggested that she is perhaps feeling low, and that she's maybe in a dark place with her grief. It becomes our job to fill the place surrounding her with colour. We do this by exploring the area to see what we are able to light up. And once we have exorcised these demons, the colour is brought back.
Wow.
She is able to collect herself, and we move forward. We enter the first campsite where a memory plays with her mother, and colour floods back into this little island. Life has been breathed back into this area, and it looks incredible. She's on a journey of reminiscing and processes how to handle her grief as it lifts and it deepens. This place totally opens up when colour is brought back in. It provides an appearance similar to something like the Breath of the Wild, showing us a glossy and soft environment, which is absolutely stunning. We even share the same. The stamina wheel is built upon collecting will-o'-wisps, which are these little floaty fairy guys. Her mood lifts a lot when the place has been restored. She'll reminisce more happily, talk more to Chess, and even laugh. This whole game is an emotional journey for the two of them, and she looks on the place more fondly and interacts with the environment when her grief lifts a little bit from her. She dwells less on the loss and more of the good times that took place here. Docks are utilised to travel to the next island. We are able to come and go freely to any of the islands. Any island we have completed stays filled with colour, which is a nice touch to keep track of things on where you are and where you've been. We leave this island, step back onto the boat, and we are first introduced to the music notes. Upon coming close with the music note, Kaylee mentions a song that her mother used to sing, and this is the very point of the game's trajectory that really changed for me. Not only is this game visually beautiful, but the music and the storytelling matches in every aspect. She sings a few lines, but my god, my heart swelled. It made me want to pack my bags and take a trip up north. There's something so profound about Celtic music. It's so earthy and it goes back thousands of years, and it makes me feel so blessed to have the heritage that I do from Scotland. She only sings a couple of lines, and with the provision of the UI bar, it signifies that the notes are scattered through the game, and with each note collected, a little bit more of the song is remembered and sang. The song and other relevant information becomes documented in our little journal. After this point, the game really expands and leads you to various islands that are marked by different lights. The UI also signifies that there are a lot of things to collect, such as finding benchmarks, lighthouses, campfires, will-o'-wisps, and music notes, which is an absolute collector's delight. You're able to coast along and collect these objects at your own leisure, and ultimately, just enjoy the game for how amazing it is. There are different locations for said collectible items. The notes can be found in the water, while the rest are found on land. The balance between exploring on foot and in the canoe is a nice contrast for one another and gives plenty of ways to explore this map. And during exploration, there are plenty of scenes to experience. Kaylee will have her moments of distress, which is presented visually by having time frozen, and via music, where sounds become much more deeper. It is our job to guide her through in order to play through some incredible moments of this game. When she is frozen in point, it is our key that we need to figure out how to move forward. These profound moments initially begin to play out with the interaction with a whale. A whale is caught in a giant fishing net, and we are tasked with freeing it. Once we release the net attachments on land, it is magical. We see the whale rejoin its pod. We saved the little baby. The music swells, and it's a moment that you just want to fucking smile at. And you can hear how happy they are. And there are plenty of moments like that in this game. We have the option to restore lighthouses, where you follow the scent of a lantern, dig it up, and return it to its lighthouse. There are only 5 lighthouses in the entire game, and restoring them offers an old school Assassin's Creed moment, where we get an outer look of the scene. As Gal has strength. Gal should have been an Olympic rower. Gal's got that Spartan strength. Islands are highlighted in different colours. Yellow indicates a main area to explore, and blue indicates an area to find collectibles. When setting foot on the island, the UI also displays how many collectibles are on that said island. It's a nice touch knowing what is yet to be found, and when the main island is overall complete, there are 5 main islands and 5 sub-islands, so there's plenty to investigate. And of course, we're playing as a border collie. May I add as well, this game was made by one person. God bless you, you incredibly talented human being. And what are border collies meant to do? Herd goddamn sheep. We get to herd sheep in this game. With the guidance of Kaylee, herding sheep to their end destination is another feature we can participate in to help progress areas of the story. The navigation element of this is handled really well. The sheep don't yeet themselves or collapse or anything, and typically flock back together if one happens to separate if you leave them alone enough. The main story progresses and we arrive at our childhood home. It's also a very significant point in the story as we learn some background lore about growing up. And when Kaylee remembers good memories, this entire area lights up with gorgeous oranges and rustic colours. I mean, look at this. It's absolutely stunning. And we get to soak up every moment of this, running through the wildlife as the sun reflects and bounces off everything. The purple heather clashes with the orange leaves of the trees that all contrast together and really stand out. And with the soaring music that elevates the heartfelt moments, it truly leaves you wholeheartedly enjoying this game. The controls are smooth, jumping to different platforms work well. Jumps you're able to make are signified by a little white marker. We have options to dig, to bark. Even our bark sounds like a deep bark a collie would have. The camera is at a comfortable angle to take everything in, and this moves well with the player. We can swim, we can sprint, and the story plot of being a controllable dog whilst exploring with your human is a brilliant concept that has been executed beautifully. As the story progresses, we learn that Kaylee and Chesley left the Orkney Islands, and as much as Kaylee loves this place, she feels that it was never meant for her. The pair moved to Edinburgh, and the adjust to city life was difficult for Chesley, which is demonstrated in the memories of Edinburgh that take place. These memories are portrayed as dark and scary, and we need to avoid the big scary hands of doom. She claims that she didn't want to live this life, and that's okay. The whole story is about processing emotion the pair are experiencing, and ultimately, it's about returning home to your roots. There is no map feature that can give you an indication to where you are or where you've been. You are simply guided through markers, colour, and Kaylee's guidance. There are some really wholesome moments in this game, such as playing fetch with Kaylee, and then a bunch of deer appear. The morning scene in the graveyard, where we sit until the sun comes up, and the music is extraordinary. The bagpipes swell, and it makes for such a significant moment. We even get to bag some Munros, which is a term for a big Scottish hill, and we get the achievement of hitting the three sisters, climbing each hill individually. And that's the end of the game. Yep, that's it. We travelled around the islands, we had a nice time, and that was it. I didn't have to contact my therapist whatsoever for any elements of this game. This game didn't leave me sitting, staring into a dark room, contemplating how I ended up here. It did not wreak havoc on my emotions. We had a fantastic time, and that was the end of it. I wish that had been the end of it. But you've been warned. As we near towards the end of the game, we begin to travel snowy terrain, and the game seems to take a slight sad turn. And I anticipated it being that the game was almost over, that they were still grieving the loss of Kaylee's mum, Chesley's original owner. Kaylee reminisces a lot with her and Chesley, and he starts to become a little unnerved, to the point Kaylee carries him to where the story hits its ultimate point, the final lighthouse. We have snippets of points we have experienced up until then, such as the mother's grave, some cows, and we get to play some more fetch. Everything is fine, and we reach the point of the game where Kaylee throws a stick one last time. We chase the stick, running as fast as we can, until, upon reaching the stick, Chesley's body begins to break up into particles until we are catching the wind, and we collide with the mix of ashes that Kaylee is releasing from an urn. This is not the mother's ashes, it's ours. Kaylee has come north to spread the ashes of beloved Chesley and bring him back to rest with his beloved owner. We cross a stream of light, running over the islands we have came to love so much, until we are met with Kaylee again, except this time she is travelling home on her own. Everything makes so much sense now, with the lack of light symbolising her spirit, the use of colour play as memories as she recalls points with Chess, and I am inconsolable. I wasn't expecting this, although I was confused as to why the mum had a grave and also an urn of ashes. But I guess it all makes sense now. But truly, this was an incredible game, and I feel very fortunate to have played it, and incredibly thankful to the developer who came up with this brilliant idea in the first place. It's been a long time since a game has properly rocked me. The previous being the opening to The Last of Us 2. Yes, you know what scene I'm on about, and if you've not, and if you don't know what I'm on about, don't go and find out. And I can say even now, after a few days of playing the game, that the shock really stuck with me. And in addition to this being a very beautiful game, it's definitely something that is remarkable. Right, I'm gonna go and rehydrate myself. I've probably lost about 1/3 of my body's water weight. So, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.